My generative art is based on the combined principles of symmetry and variation. As I see it, these are the two main pillars of beauty in artistic composition. You can take a random, meaningless image, and if you repeat it or reflect it, suddenly it will make visual sense. You can throw a handful of spaghetti on the floor and it will look like a mess. If you take that image and reflect it, it will look like a piece of art. For me, artistic inspiration resides in the knowledge that the possibilities for creating beauty are endless. Because I'm in love with symmetry, repetition, and geometric perfection, I feel that anything I create with those qualities will have intrinsic beauty, though of course some will be more beautiful than others. This sense of confidence frees me up to experiment with various shapes, symmetries, tiling patterns, textures, and colors. All of my generative art pieces are conceived and executed as animations, where all the drawing is controlled by a computer program. My process for creating the art piece is as follows. First, I visualize something that I think will look beautiful and try to imagine it in as thorough detail as possible. Then I think about how that image can be created by a computer program. This forces me to think about exactly what elements will be in the piece and how each one will be defined. Because these are all animations, I have to think about how the new states of each object will be chosen and how the state of the object will change over time. Once I have a clear idea of how the program will work, I write the program, starting with drawing the objects in a simple way, perhaps without color or transparency, and then adding in additional elements bit by bit. Once it's working in a basic way, I make adjustments to elements of the animation such as size, shape, and number of objects, speed of animation, how color flows through it, and transparency. This is the really fun part of the process because so many things show up that I couldn't have anticipated when I was initially trying to visualize. One of my art pieces, Spiralrects, consists of a spiral tiling made with rectangles. In other words, the image is made by drawing a set of rectangles, then rotating and scaling those rectangles down around the center point of the image to create a spiral pattern. I wanted this pattern to change smoothly over time. I also had to decide how the rectangles would be colored to create an interesting image, and decided that I would have a gradient of colors constantly moving across the rectangles. This is the art piece that you're seeing now. I knew that I would need to draw the rectangles, so I created a program to define rectangle objects with properties such as height, width, angle, center point, an array of colors, etc. Then I would need a way to set the properties because they would be constantly changing. Finally, I would need a way to draw the rectangle with its current settings. This is where all the drawing for the entire program takes place. After I've written the rectangle code, I write the main program. This is where I create the rectangles and calculate all their locations in each frame of animation, and then tell each rectangle to draw itself. First, I create and initialize all the data structures and variables that I will need. For every variable that's changing, such as size, location, and rotation of the rectangles, I have to generate and save 4 values so that I can construct a smooth curve connecting them as the animation progresses. Finally, I write the main animation loop where each frame of animation is created. First, I check to see if I need to generate new values to continue the animation path. These new values are found randomly, though within limits that I define. Then I find the state of all the rectangles in the current frame and draw them, repeating them around the spiral to make the spiral tiling image. Once I have all of this working reasonably well, I then play around with values that define the colors, transparency, number of rectangles, etc., to make something that is fun and exciting to watch. During this period, I have a lot of fun experimenting with different settings and seeing what new forms show up that I hadn't anticipated. I love creating generative art because as much as I try to imagine what it's going to look like, it never fails to show me something new. I hope you find it as exciting and intriguing as I do. Thanks for watching.